You ever just wake up and have one of those mornings like, today is gonna be a good day, I'm ready to get some stuff done? Yeah, well, today is not one of those days. I don't think we're gonna get much done this weekend. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. Our weather is a lot better this weekend, so we're gonna get out here and work on this body here. Now, if y'all hear kind of some weird noises and stuff going on in the background, they are working on a cell tower right up in there. And well, I guess they like to make some noises, or either that, or they just have some calls that they do down to the people on the ground. But anyway, so if y'all hear anything in the background, it's probably just them. But let me show you what I've done to the body so far and what else we need to get ready on this body for paint and everything like that. So I'm sure by that little intro too that y'all could already see that the roof and back iron curtain are off of here already. I went ahead and did that. Just unbolted everything and took it off same way I kind of put it on, just backwards. Anyways, something else y'all may notice is I went ahead and took the driver's seat out there. So I went ahead and took like the whole base seat and everything out. There was, let's see, how many bolts here? 16 bolts out of here to get this out of here. So 2 there, 2 in the front, all the way around. And that took out the whole sliding and everything part of that seat. Now, I will show y'all a little bit more on that whenever I get around to putting in the different seats that I'm going to be getting for this. But for now, we just need it out of the way. Again, we need to get the dash out of here, and that's one thing we're going to be working on today. And I'm sure you can see there's, right now I already have one windshield out of here. We're going to be taking out this glass here as well. Really, I'm just removing them so I don't actually hurt them whenever I'm moving the A-pillar around and taking it off. Make the A-pillar a little bit lighter as well. I still need to actually take out all of the fluid that's in the heater core here. So I'm going to apply some pressure on one of the hoses, and that'll blow out the fluid out the other hose. That will make it safer for me to go ahead and disconnect all the hoses in here and then unbolt that and take that out as well. We'll go ahead and take the A-pillar out. Really, it's just going to be some pins in there, sliding those out, and then that'll allow us to go ahead and take out all that as well. I know it's a lot of work, but I want to be able to paint this thing up right and not really have, if you look at it at the wrong angle, you can still see the tan underneath certain areas. So we're going to work on that today, try to get everything ready, and then after that I'm going to see how heavy this tub is, and we may go ahead and put it back on the frame and then do all our painting inside the tub and the outside and everything once it's back on the frame. But anyway, first thing, I'm going to get this other piece of glass out of here. That'll do it right there. And once that's done, just kind of pull it back a little bit and then go ahead and lift it up out of its seat on the bottom. Come on, there you go. And there we have it, no glass. Now I'm gonna put those in a safe place, and then I'm gonna work on taking these pins out and everything so we can get the A-frame. I always say A-frame. A-pillar out of here. And that'll make it a lot easier to clean all that up and paint that also. Alright, so I got that glass in a safe place now. Now, as far as I can tell on these pins, it's just going to be a pin out to get it out of that. And then I believe I'm just going to have to take a hammer and hammer those through. They have been painted over, so I don't think they're going to come free very easily. But once that's done, we should be able to just lift it right off there. So there's a seal that's stuck between the dash and this, obviously to kind of keep it weather tight. So I got to use a screwdriver to basically kind of pry it up a little bit. Well, that was a little awkward, but we got that off there. It's taking me a while to get off there because there's a seal on the front and the back, and I had to loosen that up because it was stuck to both sides, almost like a glue. All right, I'm gonna play around with some stuff here and see if I can figure out how all this comes off the front here now. Ooh, bad shadow by that sun, but our dash here just slips into that kind of little groove. So basically once you have the dash all unbolted, you kind of lift up on it a little bit and you're just able to slide it out from under there. This little lip, focus right here. That little lip right there slides up in there and holds it in place. Ooh, look at that guy. He wants to say hi. Oh, all right, so the rest of that came out just as easy as that other side. It just slips out of that little slot there once you remove the little bolts that are under here and on the edges, and then kind of the same on the other side there. This is gonna make it a lot easier to paint up behind all that. Plus, now I can actually take this and prep all this easily. I'll probably actually, can't see that at all. Let's turn it around. So, plus, I'll be able to prep this up pretty easily, and I'll probably actually drill out those rivets for the little vents and closures there so I can paint those all up as well. I'm gonna take a little bit of time, go ahead and take out all of these. We're gonna try to replace these anyway. We're gonna try to replace these anyways because you'd see they're kind of old and just falling apart and everything. And then we gotta drain that thing out and drop that out also. All right, so let's see if I can get this thing off without making too much of a mess. All right, there we go. It's out of there. I went ahead and just pulled the little elbows out of the side there and then left all the hose connected to the heater core. It is quite dirty up under there. Working on taking the seatbelt stuff off now. Took that off. Went ahead and took that off there. And then there's also a bolt underneath here as well. And once that's done, I'll be able to get these out of the way. So I went ahead and removed the little battery tray that's in the bottom here. I may put the battery tray back, but I'm actually thinking about finding some different battery trays because I don't plan on using the very large square batteries that the Humvees originally come with. Why is there this black sticky stuff all over the electrical connections in this thing? This stuff takes forever to clean off here. Yeah. So we are pretty much where I want to be before I start prepping this tub for the lizard skin, ceramic coating, sound deadening stuff. That way we get some heat control and sound deadening in these pans because they are a little rattly. All right guys, next day, and it is getting cold out again. We have a chance of snow tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to get some stuff done today in the cold. Now you'll notice I'm wearing a respirator mask here. So while I was out messing with the body, I found the old body bolts and everything, and still on them was these big washers that I need to clean up so I can put them on the new bolts and everything. So that's what I'm going to be working on now. Now I have a respirator on because some of the paint that's on this Humvee and parts and stuff is very toxic to breathe in. And since I'm using a sander and it's going to be kicking up dust everywhere, just be safe and put one on. So I got them sanded down, laid out here, and sprayed with a little bit of rust fix, like encapsulator, inhibitor type stuff. I gotta let those dry before I can hit them with some primer and paint, and then we'll be done with those. So I'm sure y'all can tell I procrastinate a little bit on some of the small things that really just take up a whole bunch of time but don't really change the way things look or don't feel like you're proceeding as much. Kind of like all the wiring and stuff here, but I'm working on mounting all that down to get that ready, because really I believe that's the only thing left we have on the frame here before we put that body back on. That basically means I need to get this thing all done and everything in place where I want it. Now if something ends up happening when we're putting the body back on the frame, I'll try to modify some things, or I may have to create some things just to hold things down in a little bit different area, but trying to keep everything kind of within the frame rails, also just being aware of what can get in the way on the body. Anyway, I'm going to work on this a little bit, try to clean it up a little. So I went ahead and took off some of the wiring harness that I'll be able to run after the body's back on. That lets us be able to actually remove a big chunk of all this wire here, and that might get in the way whenever we're putting the body back on. We shouldn't have too much of an issue running those later. We should be able to reach up there and get to them. So I've used some AN kind of hose clamps. These are basically just to space out and hold these AN tubing just together. I do have a few clamps here holding them down to the frame. I have another one up here that holds those in place, trying to keep basically everything within the frame or a little past it. We have a little bit of room, but I don't want it to catch on the body. Anyway, I'm gonna look over this a few more times just to really be sure, but I think we're pretty much ready now to put the body back on the frame. Now we're not gonna do it the same way as we did it last time. I'm thinking about just going ahead and putting it on a trailer. We'll move this frame out. We'll back the trailer in here, and then we'll actually use the hoist up here to go ahead and lift it off the trailer. Push this back in, and then we will have a little bit of movement with that body as well, being on that chain to basically make it just right and put in our bolts, and then we should be good. So it actually warmed up a lot more than I thought it would outside. So I'm back out here at the body. I'm gonna actually work on taking the parking brake out of here. There seems to just be a pin and a cotter pin holding in the rod cable thing on the bottom. So I'll probably go ahead and take that off. It's just gonna make it easier for me later. And then also see if I can find a big enough wrench to go ahead and try to take off this whole brake assembly up here. All right, we got that parking brake out of there. We also got our brake pedal out as well. That's really just a very long kind of bolt and a nut on the other end. So it's pretty simple. There is a spring you'll need to take apart, and I went ahead and took off our little brake switch as well. All right, so that's actually gonna do it for me this weekend. Now, I still have some daylight left, and I may come back and do some more, but I do need to run to town and get some tarps. Now, it looks like it's nice and sunny today, but, well, it changes like literally overnight, and we're expecting snow tomorrow, so I'm gonna go get some tarps to go ahead and cover up some of our stuff. That way, really, we just try to keep it as clean as possible. It's not gonna keep it perfect, and it's not gonna keep all the dirt out, but it's gonna help a little bit for us. So I'm gonna go do that, and then if I get back and it's still bright out, I'll do some more work. So I was sitting inside editing the video to try to get out this week, and noticed I never really finished my outro on that last part. But I appreciate y'all watching, guys. If you want to follow along with the build, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see y'all next time.